One of the more emotional moments of the day is when the National Silver Cross Mother lays a wreath on behalf of all mothers who have lost children in military service. This year, it was Maureen Anderson from New Brunswick. Mrs. Anderson lost two sons. Sergeant Ron Anderson was a member of the Royal Canadian Regiment. He served in Petawawa, Croatia, Bosnia, Kosovo, and two tours in Afghanistan. Sergeant Ryan Anderson was also a member of the Royal Canadian Regiment. He served in Gagetown, Yellowknife, Bosnia, Ethiopia, Haiti, as well as in Afghanistan with his brother. Earlier today, I spoke with Mrs. Anderson just steps away from Canada's National War Memorial, and here is our conversation. Mrs. Anderson, thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it. You said that your sons were destined to serve in the military. Why is that?
Well, right from the time they were young, they were always playing Army games all the time. In the woods, because our house had woods behind it, and they would always play Army.
And how much fun was that?
Well, I guess they had fun. I thought nothing of it at the time, but as they got older, and it was, you know, like cadets and militia and right on up.
And a big family, big military family as well. Tell me a little bit about the service that your entire family.
Well, I probably can go back, I don't know how far I can go back to my grandfather in England. He served with the Navy, the First World War. Second World War was my father, and he was in the North Shore Regiment in the Miramichi. And I served for a very short trip because I met my husband Peter and we got married. I was in the Air Force and he was in the Canadian Guards on the Parliament Hill until they were disbanded, and he went to RCR.
Tell me how proud you are of your sons.
Very, very proud. They were always just ironing their uniforms, brushing them off, linting them off, and everything else. So they were very, very proud of the uniform.
There's something that I found really interesting, a specific story about Ron that you had only found out about afterwards, specifically about how he helped a young boy in Afghanistan. Tell me a little bit about that.
That broke my heart because I didn't know anything about it until after he passed away. His girlfriend he lived with, she said, you might like to have this certificate. And I said, certificate for what? And here it was saying that he was honored to be, whatever it is, but he saved this little boy's life in Afghanistan. He was in a Jeep with his driver, and they came across this little boy that was hit with a car on the road. And Ron said, stop the Jeep, I'm getting out. And the driver said, are you crazy? Stay in the Jeep. No, he said, I'm going to look after him. He administered first aid, and anyway, I guess there was a couple of guys around, the Afghans around with the guns pointed at him while he did it, but he did it and got back in the vehicle and away they went.
Just the type of boy he was, yeah?
Oh yeah, nothing bothered him. He was very brave. Yeah.
There's always a poignant moment in the ceremony when you, as the Silver Cross Mother, lays that wreath for all mothers. Today when you did that, where did your mind go?
Immediately to my two sons. I looked up and I said, I hope you're looking down at me, Ron and Ryan. And they probably were. They were the first and foremost. And then, of course, all the fellows that had passed away.
Your two boys suffered from PTSD. Do you think as a society we're doing enough to help with those unseen scars that everybody comes back with?
I don't really know. I tend to think no, but then I don't know. I know Ryan was on a lot of medications, and I kind of wondered after, was one interacting with the other? And was the other one interacting with something else? Like, you know, because a lot of medications, you can't interact them. So I don't know. And Ron, I don't know because I didn't know how much, because he lived further away from me, and so I wouldn't know how much medications he had.
As the Silver Cross Mother, you're going to hold this title until next October, and you're going to go give talks, and you're really a symbol for a lot of things. What is the message that you want to give to other family members of people who are serving, other moms, dads, parents? What do you hope people want to focus? What do you want to focus on? For
I want them to focus on honoring the military, looking up to the military, support the military. Every step of the way, support them. You know, when they go away, whatever. Just keep hoping and praying that everything works out for them. That's all I can say.
You're a big tea lover. From what I've heard, you've got a mug at home, a special mug that says "Soldier On."
Soldier On.
What does that mean to you?
I take that every morning and I look at it. And I said, Ron, Ryan, I'm soldiering on.
What are you soldiering on from?
I don't know. Just their memories. I think of them all the time, and hope the military gets better. They focus on PTSD if it's there. Look after the troops. Support them. Wives, children, support them.
Yeah, and make sure that their memory continues on.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's been such a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time
You're
to speak
welcome.
with me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.